Well, we are talking today about dreams, specifically about dreams of the broken kind. And I want to invite you, you got some sermon notes in your bulletin on the inside cover, and take those out, fill those blanks in as we go through, if that's helpful for you. There's also some space for you to take your own notes about what God is saying to you. And my hope and my prayer is that God would speak to you all about your own situations and your own dreams, because most of us have reached a spot in life where we've had some dreams that have been broken. Some of those have been bigger deals, some of those have been smaller deals, but we need to hear from God about those things. And so have your ears open both to what I have to say, but more importantly to what the Spirit of God has to say as we pursue what it means to be unbroken in our dreams. Now, this is your first sermon note before we get into sharing some scripture. Sometimes we sabotage our own dreams, and sometimes other people or situations destroy them. But most of us have times when we find ourselves with broken dreams. And so this comes from two sides. It comes from ourselves, from bad decisions we made, or wrong decisions we made, or just mistakes that we made. Sometimes it comes from other people, things that we have little control over ourselves, things that were thrust upon us. Whether it's our own choices and our own actions or things that have come from outside, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference when it comes to our dreams, because the dreams are still broken. That hurt is still there. That emptiness. And in that place, we come to worship. And it's easy to say, well, we should all have these dreams, these things that guide us, these goals that are set out there. And that's what the gurus will tell you, the organizational gurus or the life coaches. They say, oh, you need to have a goal. And, okay. But sometimes that stuff has been broken. And I want to tell you that's okay. And I want to tell you that's real. And my hope is that you'll bring those broken pieces with you to God and trust that God's going to make something new out of them. I want to read to you from Psalm 30. And I think this is just a perfect picture of the way life goes at many times. Psalm starts off in verse 6 by saying this: when I was prosperous, I said, nothing can stop me now. Y'all have been in that spot? Nothing can stop me now. Life is good. It's great. Everything is wonderful. Your favor, O Lord, made me as secure as a mountain. It's kind of a setup here, isn't it? You know what's coming next? Then you turned away from me, and I was shattered. I cried out to you, O Lord. I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will you gain if I die, if I sink to the grave? Can my dust praise you? Can it tell of your faithfulness? Hear me, Lord, and have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks forever. So you see this movement in this psalm from this place of, oh, everything's good, to being broken and shattered. And bringing that brokenness to God and saying, God, here it is. This is my dreams. This is what I had hoped for. This is what I had pursued, what I had always envisioned. It looked so beautiful only a little while before, and now it's just this broken thing. And then somehow, some way, God knits those broken dreams back together in a way that only God can do. And so your sermon note on this is this: we can move very quickly, and this is how the psalmist said, from nothing can stop me, to being shattered when our dreams fall apart. Now this psalm moves through the whole thing. It moves from the good times to the bad times, back to the good times. And you can read through the Psalms, and there are plenty of Psalms that don't get back to the good times, because it takes a while. In the story of Moses, we're going to talk about in just a minute. It took 40 years. 40 years of brokenness before God reknit and unbroke those dreams. But dreams can break in a hurry. And it can take a long time for those pieces to fit back together through the power of God. And so, what I want to wrestle with today is how do we live in the times when our dreams look like this instead of being put back together again? And so, I want to talk about Moses' story. And Moses is one of the best known leaders of the Old Testament. But his early life, in fact, his life up to the age of 80, is not nearly as impressive as what follows after that. Moses' story is this. He was born as a Hebrew. And yet at that time, the Hebrews were told to kill all their baby's boys by the Egyptian leaders. And so Moses' mother put him in a basket and put the basket into the river. And Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, found Moses floating down the river. And so Moses was raised as a prince of Egypt, but an adopted prince. He knew that he was not Egyptian by birth. He knew that his family was Israelites. And so he had a dream. As a young man, Moses dreamed of freeing the Israelites. And he was going to do it. He was strong. He was a prince. He had everything he needed to free the Israelites. So one day he was watching over and he saw a taskmaster, one of the slave masters, one of the Egyptians, who was beating a slave, beating one of the Hebrew people. And so Moses took that slave master and he killed him. We don't know whether he meant to or it was an accident, but he murdered him. Took his body, hid it out in the desert, and thought he got away with it, but quickly enough he realized that everybody actually knew what had happened. And Moses went from being a prince of Egypt to being a murderer. And he fled Egypt for his life. And he became an exile. And he found himself in a place called Midian, sitting in a well. We don't really know what he was doing there. He was just kind of sitting there. He didn't have anywhere else to be, anything else to do. And as he's sitting at this well, a group of women who are shepherds come leading their flock to get a drink. And as they come up, another group of shepherds, a group of men, start harassing them and start attacking them. And Moses, in his place of brokenness, decides, well, I can respond to this. I can do the right thing in this situation. He gets up from the well and he goes to these women's defense. He rescues them from their attackers and helps them to water their sheep. And the women go on their way, and Moses looks around and says, well, I still don't have anywhere to go. I still don't have anything to do. I still don't know what my dream or vision is to be in life. And so he pulls up his rock, sits back down again. Not too long after that, the women return. And they've been home and they've talked with their father, and their father said, invite him for dinner. Moses goes with them and eats dinner. Eventually becomes part of that family. He gets a new job as a shepherd. He ends up marrying one of the women who he had rescued. And in this place of brokenness, he finds some semblance of life. As a shepherd, as a husband, as a father. And it's as Moses is going about his business of shepherding, 4 decades later, he sees a bush. And the bush is burning. But it doesn't burn up. And Moses says to himself, I've got to go see this. This is interesting. What's going on over here? And he goes to the bush to see why it is burning and why it is not consumed. And that is where God meets him. And God says to him, You know that dream you had? Let's do that. Let's get your people free from slavery. But the difference is now Moses responds to God saying, who am I to do this? He's been through 40 years in the wilderness. He knows that he's not the strong young man that he once was. He's not going to be able to stand before Pharaoh and bring the people out of slavery. And it's in that moment that God knows Moses is in a spot where God can use him. So this is what I want us to recognize in the story, is that Moses, he may have lost his dream, but he is still able to do the right thing in the moment. So this is your next sermon note. Moses' first act in exile was simply to do the right thing in the situation he was presented with. He wasn't following a dream, but just reacting to life in godly ways. There's this debate. Should you be proactive, pursuing things, going after them, or should you be reactive? And the conventional wisdom says, well, you always need to be proactive. You need to go out there, you need to go after it, you need to go get it. But the thing is, when your dreams are broken, you don't even know what to go after. You don't know what to go get or what to pursue. You're just there. And so what I want to say to you all, if you're in that spot today, is react well. If all you can do is react to what life gives you, react well. Moses is there at the well, and he sees these women being attacked, and he says, I'm going to react well. I don't know what life is going to bring. I don't know what's next. I don't know anything. But I can react in this situation as I know I should. That's what he chooses to do. We all have times when we are pursuing a dream. And other times when we don't know what to pursue. So living well in those times is about responding as people of love and mercy. I truly believe that God has a dream and a vision for all of us as far as how we can live as people who follow after God. You may not be in that spot right now. And so, if you're not, react well. Respond to what's around you well. Trust that God is able to bring good things out of that. When you look at Moses' life, he went from being a person with no home, no family, no job, nothing, to being invited into a family, to getting a job, eventually to getting married and having children, all because he chose to react well in a time when his dreams were nothing but chatter. Now, the next thing that we see happen with Moses is that in that time of having no dream, of having no vision, he develops this curiosity of saying, I wonder what that's about. I wonder what God's doing. So when he sees the burning bush, he doesn't just say, okay, I've got sheep to watch. Who cares about that thing? He says, I need to go see what's going on. And part of letting God unbreak our dreams is being curious about where God is at work, what God is doing. So if you see God at work around you, go investigate. You see somebody's life who you see God is at work, and go and talk with them. Say, hey, what's God doing in you? Or I see something in your life that's really neat. Tell me about it. Because as you look at the world around you, you'll find that God is at work. And God wants to take these pieces and put them back together in a way that will make your dreams something more beautiful than they ever were before. Now, here's your next sermon. Moses is a broken man when he encounters God at the burning bush. And broken people are the kind who God can use to accomplish God's dreams. When we started the story, it was Moses' dream. Moses wanted to do this thing of freeing his people. Moses thought he had the strength to do it. Moses was going to make it happen in his own strength. That's not really how God likes to work. God likes to take people who are weak, people who recognize that they need God's power. And God takes those kinds of people to do God's work. And so if you're finding yourself broken, recognize this is a really good place to be for God to use you. It's a really good place to be. After 40 years in exile, God renews the dream that Moses had. Only now he's a humble man who knows he doesn't have the ability to accomplish this dream on his own. And that's what it means to be unbroken. The dream looks pretty similar. It's about bringing people out of slavery. But what makes it an unbroken dream is that reliance on God and the trust that God is the one who's able to do it. So if you follow through the rest of the story, you know that there's no way Moses could have accomplished that. We have the story of Moses going to Pharaoh and all of these miraculous things that God does, the 10 plagues that God sends on the Egyptians, the parting of the Red Sea so that people can walk through. The miraculous power of God was necessary to bring the people out of slavery. If Moses thought he could do it on his own, he was wrong. And frankly, if we have a God-sized dream, it's going to require the power of God. So if our dreams are small enough that we can do them, we can accomplish them, I want to suggest that maybe God wants you to dream for something bigger. To dream for something that only God can do. Because those are the kinds of people that God is seeking out. Sometimes our new dreams need to break because they're dreams we're trying to accomplish on our own. If we think, if I just work hard enough, I can do it, then we're missing the boat. God wants us to dream things that only God can accomplish. And so, here's the question. This is 2 questions that I have for you. Which category are you in? Are you pursuing a dream, or are you responding to life right now? Which category are you in? You might say you're in both in some ways. How can you be humbly following God regardless of what place you're in? You notice that's the key. That humility of Moses is what was the key that led him to be able to be a part of God's big vision. So how can you be humbly following God in the spot in life where you are? Let's pray. Lord, you are a God who helps your people to dream. You show us the kinds of things that you want to do in our lives and the kinds of things you want to do in our world. We pray, Lord, that you would take those broken places in our lives, knit those dreams together in a way that allows us to follow you and to draw near to you. Show us how to respond well, to pursue you in all that we do. We pray this in Christ's name.